Welcome to Finance Malta. I'm Vanessa MacDonald, and with me today, I've got Kenneth Farrugia, the CEO of Bank of Valletta. Kenneth, one of the great themes today that we've had has been sustainable finance. What does it mean to a big legacy bank like you, and how are you going to tie that into the future?
Sustainable finance has become a very important strategic priority for the banking sector, and not less for Bank of Valletta, given that we have a leadership position in the market. And apart from our obligations towards the wider community within which we operate, even as an institution, we have embarked on a program to identify which are the emissions that the bank, as a result of its operations, is polluting the environment, and we are launching initiatives to try to reduce that. Some of these would revolve around the use of paper, postages when we mail to clients.
Yes, when you think about it, yes, with
the use of
that many clients, it makes a difference.
We're avid users of technology, so our servers and the heat emitted by these servers. So these would be typically the drivers of carbon emissions, and clearly we have set up a number of initiatives to reduce that. That's from an organization perspective. Clearly our responsibility when it comes to sustainable finance going forward is to ensure that we're embedding ESG principles within our pricing of credit financing. And this is something that the bank is doing as I speak. So we are embedding ESG considerations when it comes, for example, to the construction sector. So if you're developing a building that is BREEAM or LEED certified, that will reflect itself in an incentive by way of a reduction in the applicable interest rates for that specific financing.
So it's a carrot rather than a stick, but it's a very important
Exactly.
carrot.
I firmly believe that clearly we are all driven by the need to greenify our economy, and there have been a number of incentives and initiatives at European Commission level around this, and clearly those are being permeated within the member states. And banks are gatekeepers, right, where they can significantly influence their clients, the behavior of their clients, to go for more green. And today it's translated into metrics as well. So just take the loan book, the green asset ratio. To what extent we have green loans as a percentage of our loan book. We do have as well a treasury book where we manage the excess liquidity of the bank. And again, we are looking at exiting those sectors which are polluting the environment,
going more towards
oil and
the
gas
green
sectors,
ones.
and going towards green issuances. When it comes to the client, apart from the finance side, we need to give consideration as well to sustainable preferences when it comes to the investment side as well, because there are two dimensions in the way that these will impact customers. So we have green loans within our product catalog. We've launched a very interesting one last December, which is a 10-year product at 0% interest, which is a product that we've structured with the EIF because it is an incentive for those businesses that have energy efficient initiatives, and we want to make it attractive for them to invest in these initiatives. But equally on the investment side, we want to start shifting our customers' focus towards giving due consideration to investment products which are green in nature.
And people are actually demanding this now.
Yes.
So the companies are being squeezed not just by the customers demanding more
Absolutely.
accountability, but also by the banks leading by example.
Absolutely. And, customers today are requesting from the banks, a product catalog which has green solutions, which they would normally favorably consider. On the business side, as we were saying before the interview, it's really addressing and killing two birds with one stone. So you need to satisfy the commercial nature of investing in green and the rationale for that. So there needs to be a business case why you invest in green. But at the same time, you're also fulfilling your obligations from a CSR perspective that you're shifting towards operations which have a lower impact on climate and the environment.
Now no longer a voluntary thing. People don't do it just to feel good. It's actually mandatory for regulated companies and listed companies, for example.
There are reporting requirements, but this goes beyond the reporting.
Yes,
it's tangibly what
making them focus on it.
Absolutely.
So
what
they're not doing it, yes.
And it's amazing the take-up we're seeing. I mean, this particular product, the 0% 10-year product, is also applicable for personal loans, and particularly we're seeing strong interest for customers to shift from fuel-driven cars to electric cars, because there is a financing product which is attractive for them as well. So the proposition ticks their boxes, and at the same time they're reducing the use of fuel or eliminating it completely and going completely electric.
We've spoken about sustainable financing, but can we sort of look towards the future as well? How do you see fintech being absorbed into your business model?
Clearly, technology plays a significant role in the digitalization of the way that we service customers. If you look back over these last 2 decades, branches were very much driven by the presence of, or banks rather, were driven by the presence of branches in different towns and cities, and the same goes obviously for banks abroad. But with the onset of technology, we've moved, I remember, from telephone banking way back in the 80s to introducing internet banking, mobile banking. And now really it is shifting the vision towards an omni-channel experience, whereby whether you prefer to be serviced over the counter, you have the ability to self-service your requirements over digital because of the instantaneous nature of it. You don't need to go to a branch.
We were talking at our last interview about even onboarding.
Yes, absolutely,
online.
Absolutely. And not just that. I mean, it's not just onboarding of customers, but equally if you're applying for a personal loan, you're applying for a home loan. Today, technology, and particularly we're seeing the proliferation of AI, is enabling the ability for customers to self-service their requirements instantaneously, right? Because even when it comes to the credit risk assessment of the customers, it need not be undertaken by a human. So it will look at your income flows, your expenses, it will compute your profile in terms of income and expenses, and then it will tell, yes, this is the path to green, and you're given the loan, and the money automatically flows to your account. In fact, on average, a personal loan abroad, which is fully digitized, takes just 10 minutes. It's that fast. And the same applies for all other products.
But what happened to all of these stories we used to hear about the fact that it used to take up to a year to open a bank account in Malta? Is that true anymore?
No, that has changed markedly. I mean, clearly, given the strong focus on AML and financial crime, there was a focus as well to strengthen the collation of information and documentation on the basis of which you assess the risk profile of the customer. You understand the nature of the transactions that the customer will process through the account, and on that basis then you can service the relationship with a degree of ease. That's becoming more digitalized today. So, we've just launched a digital channel whereby you can upload your ID cards, you can populate the transactions you expect to process through your accounts without needing to go to the bank. Now, clearly, if you have a transaction which is in excess of what you ordinarily would process to your account, that will be flagged and the bank will contact you. But there again, you can process and upload that document supporting the transactions to the digital channel. So these are the ease of banking which banks are introducing in the way that they service customers.
It's going to be a brave new world. Kenneth, it's been very exciting talking to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.